Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and it's time for the Thursday afternoon, just before Friday, Monday morning podcast, and I'm checking in on you. I'm just checking in on you. How's, oh, Jesus, who knows how anything is. I flew today, so whenever I fly, I'm a little bit scatterbrained. You know, I had a 7:10 a.m. flight, so I had to get up at like 5:15. You know, the shows didn't end till like 11:30 or whatever. I couldn't get to sleep till like 2. So I'm like, all I got to do is just make sure I don't miss the alarm clock, get up, get to the airport, stumble through security, and then not miss when they, board the flight, which I did. So I get there, and that's it. You know, I had myself a little parfait, at that guy's fucking restaurant. He's on the Chew. The guy with the shaved head, I went to his place, and whatever. I just got the granola with the yogurt and some blueberries or something like that. I vaguely remember. So I get on the plane, and all I want to do is just go to sleep. All right? So I go to sleep, and all of a sudden, this fucking guy, we get up to cruising altitude, and this guy, stands up wide awake, like, I swear to God, 6'4" dad jeans, And he had these awful shoes, these shoes that you'd wear with the suit. You could tell he didn't want to pack like a pair of like leisure shoes, so he just wore those with his fucking awful dad jeans. And he is just talking loud as shit, like one aisle up. Like, I don't know where he walked up from, but he was a couple rows back, and he came up, he's just talking to the guy going, figure then we head to the hotel around 10:30, then we can get the meeting all set up, and after that we can maybe try to decide what we're going to do, what the game plan is for after lunch, Then I hear the other guy like, can't understand what he's saying. Then the guy's like, ha, 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 ha. And I just wanted to like fucking, God, with his fucking shoes with the 2 buckles on them. 2 buckles, really? Like, how crazy are your feet that you got to strap them into that level? Do they have a mind of their own? So he finally walks back. He goes to sleep. I don't know what the fuck he went. He left. So I finally nod off, and I'm like sleeping deeply. And all of a sudden, I just feel this pressure on my left arm. And I feel somebody shaking me. And I wake up, and it's the stewardess. She's clasped both my arms. No, my arm with both her hands. Like she's going to tell us that, you get in the crash position or something. And I just look up at her. I can't hear what the fuck she's saying. And then I realize I have my headphones on. So I just take the headphones off. I was like, what? What's the matter? She goes, did you want breakfast today? I mean, yeah, at some point, not when I'm sleeping. I didn't think they did that. I thought the only time they did that was when, if there was like an emergency. Like, I'm sorry, I know you're sleeping, but you got to bring your seat back up because God knows, that's so fucking crucial to the level of injury you're going to have at 37,000 feet, right? I know it's kind of hacky material, but that's what you think, right? She woke me up to see if I wanted breakfast, and I was just like, I hope I wasn't an asshole. I was like, no. I got to get a hat that says I had a fucking parfait. Just let this old man sleep. So, I don't know. Then I couldn't get back to sleep, so I started watching this season of The Ultimate Fighter. And I know I've seen most of the seasons. I forgot about this guy. There was this guy. What the fuck was his name? I can't remember, but he was like in line to win the thing, and he got completely hammered, kicked out the windows on a limo. He just went crazy, and he got kicked off the show and completely, I guess, blew his shot at being in the UFC. So, but he didn't quit. He just kept fighting. He's had like 40 fights since then. So they got this big buildup. Sort of the redemption house this year, where it's people that, were in it before and maybe didn't win. I think that's what it was. Like I said, I was half asleep. So I was watching his whole pre-fight versus the French dude who, was good with the kicks and shit. And I'm watching this stuff. And what's weird is they're cutting to the guy, who got kicked off the show. And one of his ears is sticking out so much further than the other one. And what kills me is the early part of the training, it isn't. So something happened to him during training. Like, what the fuck happens to those guys' ears? I understand, like, all, like, the fluid in them and stuff. But this thing was just like, I mean, I can't. It was like Mickey Mouse ear. He had like one of those sticking like at straight out, like it was signaling to make a left, and the other one, sticks out a little bit, but not that far. And they never addressed like what happened. But he said something cool at one point. He said, "Yeah, you know what?" He goes, "I've been around the world. I got the scars to prove it, and I'm going to go in there and I'm just going to beat this guy down." And that's exactly what he did. And I was one of the few times I was excited that the gate wasn't ready when we landed. That's always the big jerk off, when you get in early to the airport. Congratulations, we're in 15 minutes early. Unfortunately, our gate is not available. Of course it isn't, because they weren't anticipating us being there. And then there's no place to go, They should have like a little fucking ice cream thing down at the end of the runway. You peel off onto a little taxiway. But it just gets a little fucking sundae or some shit. We just basically, the guy said they're gonna bring us to a, I believe he said desolate part of the airport. I know LAX well enough at this point. What they did, we just did a lap around the whole thing. We landed on the, whatever the fuck it is, the south side of the fucking airport. And we just landed because that's the side United is on. Which, by the way, I'd like to apologize to the guy who got dragged off that fucking flight. The fact that I ever flew that airline again. I already had my ticket. I wasn't even paying attention. I felt like such a fucking, it's a fellow American they dragged off. And even, you know what? Even if he wasn't from here, because I don't know where the fuck he was from. I think they said he was going to China or some shit. Just human being to human being, I just felt dirty riding on that fucking airline. So that's, I think that's it with those guys, unless somebody else does something worse. And then we actually all realize that United was actually, they were actually kind of reserved. They smashed his cheekbone off the side of the, I just can't believe they can make you leave. Like, no, I'm not leaving. I'm not leaving. Is the president getting on? Well, then I'm not leaving. Plus nowadays the president has his own fucking plane. To just kill me. It's like, what about that guy? What about his plans? What about his business? What about his loved ones? What about all of that shit? Just fucking dragging the guy off as he's screaming. That was one of the, I don't know. That was just really, you know what kills me is, goddamn well, the head people at United Airlines, when they looked at that footage, all they thought about was just damage control. They didn't give a fuck about that guy. I don't know. Am I out of my mind? That should not have happened in a first world country. That was just like some overthrow the government. There's no rules anymore. Jesus Christ. I mean, they just fucking manhandled that guy like he did something. You know what he did? He paid for his seat. That's what he did. And he got on and he put his stuff in the overhead compartment. He sat down like he was supposed to. And then he got his fucking ass kicked. Oh, he got roughed up. That'd be more, it's 2 minutes for roughing. That's what you would get, So, anyway, so I get back to fucking LAX. I'm still a little groggy or whatever. And I always take taxis, because nobody takes taxis out here. So they're always available. I just walk right out and the guy's there. And I got a pet peeve on my luggage, right? Like whenever you walk up with your luggage, if the driver goes to take it, what they do is they push the button in to make the handle go down about 3/4 of the way, and then they just release it, and then they just slam the thing down. So I always go, just wait a second, let me just do it. And the guy just kept grabbing for it, and I said, wait a second. The guy's looking at me, thinking I'm the dick. It's like, I'm not the dick, all right? So once you fucking mess up the handle, once you mess up the fucking handle, now what am I going to do? Carry it like it's the 1970s? I travel like a stewardess. So I get the whole thing down. He gets in the car, goes, how was your flight? I say it was great. And he goes, where you going? I tell him the address, and he goes, okay, can you fucking type it into my phone? I don't know, am I an asshole? It's no. I don't know, I want you fucking... You can't fucking... hey, why don't you slide over? I'll fucking drive. I know how to get home. All right, Jesus Christ. This is why I don't do the podcast one when I flew that day. As I mentioned, because I'm like extra crabby. And I had a great time, by the way, out in Cleveland, Ohio. Every time I come back there, the downtown area is more alive. I remember working at Hilarities for the first time in 2004. It was the end of 2003. I was doing New Year's. It's the first time I met Jason Lawhead and a bunch of Cleveland guys. And I just remember just looking at the downtown area, and there wasn't shit down there. I mean, I was staying at the Holiday Inn Express right around the corner, and they had to give me a fucking escort home. I was literally walking a block and a half, and I was thankful that they gave it to me. I did a fast-paced walk over to the club before the show. So I remember looking across the street, and there was this big apartment building. I remember just thinking, like, man, if I had the fucking money, I would buy that and redo it, and I would make a fortune on it. And, you know, didn't have the money, and now every time I go back there, you should see it now. Like Hilarities was the only game in town there on this dark street. Now you show up, it literally, I think I said this before, it looks like the fucking Bullwinkle show. There's a House of Blues. There's this place called, I don't know, some craft beer places, all of this shit. This gift shop, T-shirt store where they have all this stupid Cleveland stuff. They look like they were soft T-shirts. I liked a lot of them, and I actually like Ohio, but like the nickname for Cleveland, calling it the land, is just, it's so bad. The land, Pittsburgh, the Burg. Is Cincinnati the Natty? It's so fucking terrific. I thought Beantown was bad. I always hated that growing up in Boston. Then the millennials started calling it the Bean. Ugh. So in Cleveland, they have these fucking T-shirts. It says, defend the land. From what? You seceding from the Union? What are you talking about? I was happy for them. You know, they won their championship and all that type of shit, you know, and they're looking good. Jesus Christ, absolutely fucking destroying the Toronto Raptors. You know, I was going to say I had a theory about the, you know, if you name your team after some fucking movie shit like the Anaheim Mighty Ducks, the Raptors, we all know that's from Jurassic Park. Like, you're never going to win a championship, but goddamn Ducks did, but they had to stop being the Mighty Ducks. I remember when they first came out, they were the Mighty Ducks. They had the exact same uniforms as those little kids, which is basically the Bad News Bears on ice. And then they would, up on the Diamond Vision, they would have like Emilio Estevez clip from the movie of him giving a rah-rah speech to a bunch of children. And I'll tell you, when they actually won a cup after that shit, that really hurt me as a Bruins fan, going like, did we lose to a fucking team named after a kid movie? I don't know. So anyways, they've been kicking the shit out of them. How about the Celtics? Celtics continuing to fucking move through the playoffs, up 2-0 against the Wizards. Come on in. He's on down the road. I can't believe it. The Boston Celtics brand of basketball, other than their refusal to quit, I cannot fucking believe that we're winning. We don't get any rebounds. We're soft in the fucking paint. We live and die by the three. I mean, that right there. That was just the death of you. And somehow, you know, I know we're going to run into that. You know, if we get by the Wizards, you never know what the fucking happened. But when we run into that Cleveland Cavalier buzzsaw, that's just going to be it. It's going to be it. We're not going to have enough fucking answers, huh? Kelly Olynyk trying to cover fucking LeBron James or Al Horford. What's he going to do? He's not going to fucking, you know. Anyways, I mentioned a couple podcasts ago that my wife had gone rogue when it came to the DVR and all that, and I promised that I would talk to her about it with you guys. Hey, Nene! Your request on the podcast. Your request, your presence is requested. See, this is why I don't do podcasts. I hate doing it when I fly. Yeah, you got a mic, you got everything.
I got a baby.
Here you go. All right, now we're going to have a nice measured conversation. You don't touch my luggage.
You don't have it, like, comfortable for guests right now.
Well, that's why I never have guests.
Hold on.
All right, she's got to do the whole thing here.
Oh.
Who's this other person? She wasn't booked. What's up, baby? How are you?
Hi. You want to do the podcast?
Come on, let's get into it here.
Let me get her situated.
She's fine. She's full. She's changed. Anyways, Nia.
Yes.
You've gone rogue. You've gone rogue. First of all, welcome on the 10th anniversary week.
Happy anniversary.
Yeah.
That's
10
pretty
years.
incredible.
It is 10 years of running my yap. Had no idea where this was going to go, and now look at me. All these years later.
I remember
sitting in my jeans and T-shirt.
Yeah.
Exactly like I was 10 years ago. I have the exact same level of technology. I don't have a theme song. I haven't done anything.
Although you didn't have a soundboard and stuff before. You just used to
Oh, yeah, I used to call on the phone.
Yeah, you used to call on the phone.
Yep.
How did that work? You
called up some service.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I used to do it when I was on the phone. I would drive around and I'd be getting into arguments with other people in the cars, and I would be at the airport and I'd just make fun of people.
What gave you the idea to do a podcast? I mean, obviously it became a big thing 10 years ago, but was there somebody or something that happened that made you think I need to get in on this?
I feel like I didn't choose podcasting. I feel like podcasting chose me.
Yeah.
No, I was over Bobby Kelly's apartment. Bobby, right? I was over there, and he was like, dude, you should do a podcast. So he just set the thing up. Yeah, it was like Bobby Kelly shit. Bobby into technology, and I was like, that may be in the old crabby guy, even back then, go, dude, I don't want to do that stuff. Just set it up, dude. It's a good way to connect with your fans, bro.
And he was right.
Yes, he was. He was right. He was right on that one.
I remember you doing the podcast.
You know what he was wrong about? You know what Bobby Kelly was wrong about? The mini CDs.
Mini CDs.
Mini CDs, yeah. When there was regular size CDs, he talked me into getting a mini CD
I
recorder.
Remember those.
Yeah, like that was going to take off.
Yeah, no.
And then I had to buy the microphone that was set up like a little T. I followed him for like 2 months. I followed him down over the cliff of buying every piece of technology, and then I just went back to the way I was. So, anyways,
yes.
So, Neil, what's going on? There's all these great shows out there that we used to watch together.
Well,
Better Call Saul.
Yeah.
Fargo. Meet Me at the Mall.
Good season so far.
Right? All of these great shows.
Yeah.
And you used to watch them with me, and now all of a sudden, not only do you not watch them with me, you kind of erase them or decide, there was some other show, not the shows I just mentioned. There was some other show we started to watch, and you decided that you were over it, and you just stopped recording it.
Okay.
Probably
because there's a way to watch it on the Roku or on demand.
Not for me. I can't figure that out.
I have showed you that countless times.
I know.
I can show you again, but I'm not going to keep
Hey, how many times have I told you how to shut the water off when there's a flood in the house? There's certain things that we're good at. Huh? Oh, you didn't like that, did you? No more eye contact? Really? Nia?
What?
What didn't you like about that comment? Oh, this is getting real. This is like fucking some Wendy Williams shit right now. You stop staring at me like you're going to beat the crap out of me.
We're here to talk about the DVR and the TV show stuff.
We were. Are you throwing that other evidence out?
That's what my agent told me.
Is that what you're doing here? I thought that was totally.
For you to flip the script is not. That's not what I agreed to.
So white people do not flip the script. We have a misdirection. We changed the subject.
I didn't agree to this. I'm here to talk about television. And
you sound like Billy Bob Thornton on that radio show when he said, "Don't bring up my movie career. Just talk about my drum career."
That's right.
What's going on with you?
You
know what it is? You've changed.
Stuff, but I'm not.
You've
what?
changed.
What do you mean I've changed?
You've changed. Well, first of all, one of the things that hasn't changed is your inability to talk into a microphone.
I'm sorry.
I love it just pointed at the side of your face. I'm just saying. Now that we got the little one here.
Yes. Well, here's the thing, Bill, is that you're running around all day. And so I'm here with her. And so I watch the shows then because it's there's not really much to do. I'm just kind of breastfeeding all day. There's not a whole heck of a lot to do with her. So I watch it because you're busy. And then at night, when we do get time to watch stuff, you watch it for like 10 minutes and then you fall asleep.
Just because I get up at 7 in the morning to work out.
I understand that, but I don't. So then I don't get a chance to really.
Fair enough. You got to erase it. You got to erase it. You got to make the decisions on like what I get to watch now. Like, well, that's it for you. If you turn on your Roku thing and download the new.
It's so simple. Like my mom does the Roku. Like it's that easy. It's
turning on and off a faucet outside the house.
All right. Well, this has been fun. I'm leaving.
You're not leaving. No one's ever walked off this show.
What if you walked off this show? Who are you, Letterman?
What are you doing right now? You keep belittling me of how easy it is to use Roku.
How is that belittling? I said it's easy. You're the one who doesn't have the patience.
That's not what you said.
Deal with
Now. You said.
What did I say?
You said even your mother can do it. You insulted me a little bit. You insulted me a little bit.
Why is my mother something that's... I'm saying she's not the best at technology, but she knows how to use the
You know
Roku.
what you're saying.
It's easy is what I'm saying.
All right. I thought there was going to be a lot of comedy in this.
You were woefully misjudged how this was going to go. No, I know I went rogue. I know I did, but it's like,
here we go. 4 minutes in. All right.
I just can't sit around waiting for you to like watch 10. I got tired of watching episodes in 10-minute increments because you fall asleep. And what am I supposed to do? I'm not tired yet. I'm not tired yet. So I want to finish watching the show. I got to turn it off just because you fall asleep, and it takes 6 weeks to get through 2 episodes. That's insane.
I think you're exaggerating a little bit.
I am, but the point is that I'm not going to wait for your ass to watch shows anymore. It's just we're not on the same schedule. So it's not really practical for us to like watch TV together like that.
Okay.
So that part of our relationship is over.
Evidently it's over. All right. Well, here's the thing.
Yes.
Stop deciding, being judge, jury, and executioner on the death penalty for the shows that we record. Okay? And, what's weird is, I had all my Celtic games and Bruins games getting recorded.
I did not.
And for some reason, three times.
I didn't change
Can I finish the accusation?
I know.
3 times this season, I had to go back to start. I had season record. I had 3 times I had to go back and do it. And somehow that never seems to happen to your shows, only to my shows. So I can only surmise that the DVR doesn't like me.
I did not.
No eye contact.
Change. I will look right at you. I didn't change the recording series for your sports stuff.
You've never been in the middle of recording 2 things that you like at the same time, and it says, "Oh, there's not enough space. You need to stop recording on one thing," and you never chose my stuff over your stuff.
No, because it can record up to 5 things simultaneously.
All right, you're recording 5 things, and there's one more.
Have you gone through the DVR list? Have you noted that like 98% of it is your stuff?
It's a complete lie. You just pulled that percentage.
It is not.
You want to bet?
Yes, I do want to bet.
I'll bet that right now.
Yeah.
I'll bet you what? What do you want to bet?
I don't know. What should we bet?
Well, you're the one who brought it up. No, I brought up the bet. Sorry, I'm out of it right now.
I don't know. Let's just make a gentleman's bet, okay?
Well, if I was dealing with a gentleman.
Oh, I'm a gentle woman. How about that? I'm a lady.
Not. You're hostile.
I'm a lady.
Erasing my stuff. I don't appreciate it.
Bill, you have
Patriots
2000s.
games.
You have Patriots games from
Super Bowls!
From 3 years ago.
It's a Super Bowl. We won it.
But do you go back and watch it ever? Why is it sitting there?
Yeah, that's one thing.
I know, but it's like 4 hours.
It's a Super Bowl.
I know.
We beat the Seahawks.
Okay, but are you going to go back and watch it?
Eventually.
Okay.
But everything else is gone. I all the Fast and Louds, I get rid of those. I've seen all of those. I get rid of all my Bruins and Celtics. I get rid of those.
There's a bunch of games, a bunch of sports-related documentaries and stuff that you haven't watched. Because you don't have time to watch a lot of the TV, which is fine. But I'm just saying that's the reason why I have decided to just press forward.
Okay, fair enough. Well, listen,
with the TV watching.
I wish you the best of luck in the future with your TV viewing. No, with your TV viewing. I enjoyed watching TV with you.
Oh,
and yeah, it's just an end.
So, okay, well then let's figure out a solution. Like, how can we get back on track? How can we get this part of our relationship back on track? This is like therapy.
I don't know.
What can we do in order to get on the same page?
Nah, look, if you're bored out of your mind during the day and you need to watch a good show, yeah, by all means do it. Whatever. I just needed an explanation. I guess that's all right. I'll learn how. Hey, tell you what, I'll learn how to use the Roku, and you learn how to shut off the water the next time one of these old ass pipes bursts. Why is that such a big deal, Nia?
Why do you keep bringing it up? And you're trying to, like, humiliate me and embarrass me?
This is why I'm bringing it up. Because every time you talk...
The last time we had something happen like that, I turned off the water. I did. And I called the plumbers and they came the very next day. Yes, I did. So I'm tired of you making it seem like I don't know what the hell is going on. Okay? I was here by myself.
You didn't
I was
turn
here
it off.
With the baby. Yes, I did.
You turned it off under the sink.
I did.
Under the sink you turned it off.
Yeah, I did. And that immediately...
That's not the house.
The crazy-ass flooding that was going on. That I cleaned up by myself with
I must
the baby.
have walked you out there 20 times. It's a little valve. It's like, it's blue. It's the color of water.
I
you just pull it down.
Why?
If Roku is that easy, I could do it.
I forgot to do that part, okay?
I know, but that's the most...
And I called the plumber and they told me that it was fine, and it was fine.
I know, because we got lucky. It's not like you made a judgment call going, it's coming from there. I would take it out from the front of the house. You didn't do it.
You don't know what I was going through. You weren't here.
I saw it in your face.
And all you do whenever stuff like that happens, when you're on the road,
yelling.
Is give me shit. No, I will not. You just give me shit about it over and over again instead of being like, I understand. You were alone. You were panicked. You don't handle the situations. Thank God everything was okay. Thank God you're okay. Thank God the baby's okay.
Oh, Jesus Christ, a dam didn't break.
No, it's all
Were you
about
gonna drown?
Everything that I did wrong and how I didn't act the way you would have acted.
You know what I think we learned here?
That.
You know what I think we learned here?
I don't appreciate it.
Okay, I
don't appreciate it.
You know what I think? You know what
okay?
it is? You guys listening
Is
right
this what
now?
you wanted? You wanted me to flip out?
Are you not entertained? Here's the thing.
Keep poking me about it. That was months ago now. Like, let it go.
You have completely lost your composure.
Yeah, because you're pissing me off.
All right. You know what I learned in this conversation?
Nothing, knowing you.
Ooh. A little zinger from Nia. I have learned that I'm a little bit better handling criticism than you are.
No, you are not.
Listen.
No, you are the most sensitive jackass I've ever met in my entire life.
But I only took it, okay, fair enough, but I only took it to tit for tat. You said Roku.
Oh, and so you're petty too.
Okay, so I'm petty, but I mean, I'm not the one yelling and flipping out here.
I am a passionate person, and when I am feeling a certain way,
stop with the euphemisms.
I'm letting it go. That's not a euphemism.
Yes, it is.
You don't even know what a euphemism is.
Yes, it is. It's a nicer word for being a douche. Instead of saying, hey, listen to me. Instead of saying...
Did you just snap at me?
Yes, I did. Just like, you know who.
Two rights don't make... Wait, no. Two wrongs don't make a right.
All right, you're right. No, it's like instead of saying shell-shocked, you say post-traumatic stress disorder. Instead of saying innocent people died, you say collateral damage. That's a euphemism.
Oh.
All right?
Okay.
So there you go. Instead of saying that you're an angry lunatic, you say you're passionate.
I'm not. You're the angry lunatic. I think we can all agree. Not me. I am not. I am the steady, easy one.
Oh, yeah, really? Yeah.
Yeah, you're the crazy one.
Do you remember when I had to threaten to, like, if you hit me one more time during an argument, I'm not going to go out with you anymore? When I met you, you were a thrower and you were a hitter. Oh, my God, you got to run for office. You got an answer for everything.
I was young and I was
passionate. You were immature.
I was young and immature, and I didn't know how to handle my emotions, and I do now.
Okay. All right. Why don't you just check yourself into rehab? That's the other tap out way. Oh, I punched him in the face. I need to go to rehab.
I never punched you in the face.
Yes, you did.
To stop
you did it on Valentine's Day.
I didn't punch you in the face.
Yes, you did.
Not in the face.
In the face.
Yes, in the face.
In the face.
In the face.
You did. You did.
I didn't punch you in the face.
Yeah, no. I took you to that fancy-ass sushi restaurant. We were living in New York. I took you down to that thing. And the dude from the phone booth movie was there. Right? Oh, I'm in a phone booth. They won't let me leave.
Colin Farrell.
Right. He's in that fucking thing, that nice low-budget movie. The whole movie takes place in a phone booth. We love it. Low budget. Cute Irish guy, right?
Movie was ridiculous.
Well, you wouldn't know that when the way you were looking at him in the sushi restaurant. You just kept looking at the guy, which was fine for the first, 10 minutes. Then after a while, you're just looking at another guy while I'm paying 10 times what sushi should cost.
You were so exaggerating what happened. I wasn't staring at Colin Farrell the entire time.
When are you going to validate my feelings? Nia, I believe there was a song written about everything you've said on this podcast back in the 80s. It went something like this. Lies, 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 yeah. Lies, 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 yeah. The bigger, the better. I believe that was the Thompson Twins.
How long had we been dating before that incident?
I don't know, but what ended up happening was I got in the cab and I bonded with the cab driver, and I just said, "Hey, buddy, let me ask you a question." Stuck my big head through that stupid little window. I go, "If you took your woman out on Valentine's Day for sushi, all right, famous guy walks in. How long do you give her to look at the famous guy before, after a while?"
Farming out our issues to the public for that long? Wow, I never thought of it that way.
What do you mean farming it out?
I don't know what I mean.
I had to get some sort of victory out. I was trying to make
dirty laundry.
No, I was trying to make you as upset as you made me, and I did it a little too well, because by the end of the night we were back in the apartment, and you came running out of the bedroom because of course I'm sleeping on the couch. Of course I'm sleeping on the couch. I wasn't looking at anybody else, and I paid for the meal. Of course I end up on the couch, and. You said something like that. Something about bitching or something. I said, "Yeah, well, you're acting like one." And I never called you that word. And all of a sudden I heard just 2 little feet hit the floor.
That was not
and you went,
the word in question. That was not the word in question, and you know it.
Was it douchebag?
No, it was not. And you were saying, "Why do you got to act like
into the microphone?
Why you got to act like such a you know what?" And I lost my shit.
No,
yes,
I didn't.
You did.
No, I didn't. This is what I said. What did I say? I would never say no, because that's calling you one, which I've never done. Never did that.
Yeah, you kind of did in there one time.
No, I didn't.
You like to disguise it behind acting like a. See, this is the thing.
Can I tell you something, Nia? Can I tell you something, Nia?
You're acting like a. I didn't say you were a. You're acting like a.
Fair enough, but here's the thing, Nia. I've been with you for 14 years. You have 2 incidents. Despite your behavior. How many times, you know what? For those 2 incidents, how many times did you hit me? Remember that time you came in, you threw my laundry all over the living room? You friggin' psycho.
Yeah, I remember that.
Bunch of fluffy white socks and underwear, like, oh my God. Another example of your passion. I've showed unbelievable restraint dealing with a woman like you. Oh, yeah.
A woman like me?
Yes.
Well, congratulations. You got a beautiful baby out of it. Aww. That's right. Oh, we had a good time.
Yeah, we had a nice run. Now it's all about her, and evidently we're just going to be watching separate stuff on TV.
No, we can't be that couple. We have to, still remain a tight
I have to understand, most times I fall asleep at night because you're watching those women yelling at each other. I hate those shows.
No, I know. I know that, but we could be watching anything and you'll fall asleep because you do. You get up super early. You're really busy throughout the day. It makes sense. So I get why you fall asleep, but I'm just saying, it's hard to watch a TV show with you that way. That's it.
Okay. All right. Well, listen, it was nice talking to you. I'll,
Is that it? Do I have to leave now?
Well, I got to read some advertising if you want to sit here and listen to that.
Oh, Jesus.
I know. You don't listen to me read out loud. Don't let her listen to that either, because that'll be... Hope she doesn't get that from me.
Get what? Your inability to read out loud?
You know what it is? It's my brain goes too fast. I find if I slow down...
When you read to her, it's so cute and so lovely.
Oh, yeah. You guys don't know this. I rehearse before the podcast. I read the advertising to my daughter. Once upon a time, there was a company named Loot Crate. All right. Be the envy of your friends and get 100% exclusive crates at lootcrate.com/Burr and enter my code BURR, B-U-R-R, to save $3 off any new subscription. May's Loot Crate theme is Guardians. The best surprise you know is coming. What? The best surprise you know is coming. Isn't it the best surprise is that you know it's coming? Or is this the best surprise you know is coming? How do you deliver this line? You do it.
The best surprise you know is coming.
That really annoyed me how easily you know is coming. We'll be right back with more Dancing with the Stars. Loot Crate offers an epic range of pop culture items for less than $20 a month. That's right. If you're more of a fanatical fashionista, then try Lootwear. Method Man come out with that? Monthly wearables and accessories with cult classics in your favorite franchises. In May's Loot Crate, you'll find items from Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Star Wars, Destiny, and the Goonies. Jesus, they're all over the map. One minute you're in space, next thing you know, you got a bunch of dirty-faced kids coming at you. One lucky subscriber will also win a mega crate, including a premium format Groot figure, Groot, whatever the hell that is, from Sideshow Collectibles.
It's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
Groot. That's what that character is. It's from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, I thought that was like was that called an acronym? Annapolis? What do you call it? An acronym? How do you say that word?
Acronym.
An acronym.
Yeah, no, I don't know.
Is that when it's like MAD, Mothers Against Drinking and Driving? Is that an acronym? I can't say it.
Yes, that's an acronym.
All right. Well, I know what it is. From Sideshow Collectibles. I'm not joking. I can't say that word. That is over 22.5 inches tall. That's why I suck at Wheel of Fortune. Can't say the words. I'd like to solve the puzzle. That's an example of an acronym. Oh, we're sorry, Bill. Oh, God. You have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. Go to lootcrate.com/Burr and enter my code Burr to save $3 off on any new subscription today. Oh, look who's back, everybody. Look who's back. It's old Zip. Recruiter. Hey, did a little harmony there. Are you hiring? Well, are you? Do you know where to post your job to find the best candidates? No, you don't. Posting your job in one place isn't enough to find quality candidates. Wake up. I love how this copy just slaps you in the face. If you want to find the perfect hire, you need to post your job on all the top job sites, and now you can. Find candidates in any city or industry nationwide. Just post once and watch your qualified candidates roll in to Zip. It is easy to use interface. Why don't they do this with other people? You know what I mean? Like if you're missing something, if a dog's missing, why wouldn't you just post it? There's got to be a Zip recruiter for that, right? Try to get felons or something. I'm just saying, you could branch this out. No juggling emails or calls to your office. Quickly screen candidates, rate them, and hire the right person fast. Look at the gams on her. You're hired, lady. Ladies, please send head-to-toe photos. Find out today why Zip has been used by Fortune 100 companies and thousands of small and medium-sized businesses. And right now, my listeners can post jobs on ZipRecruiters for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. That's ZipRecruiter.com/Burr. One more time. Hey! Time to try it for free. Go to old Zip. .com/Burr. All right, last one. LegalZoom. Come on and zoom. You remember that? We're gonna zoom.
I kind of...
Come on, give it a try.
It's a little before my...
We're gonna show you just why. We're gonna teach you to fly high. Come on and zoom. LegalZoom. 5 things owners can count on from LegalZoom. Number 1, reliability. More than a million people have already trusted LegalZoom to help start their business. In corporations, LLCs, nonprofits, DBAs, and more. Use LegalZoom to get started the right way. Number 2, experience. You can count on LegalZoom for all the details. I've got it, honey. They've been helping all types of business owners for over 15 years. Number 3, helpful support. I hate when people list shit. I get it. You're great. Can we just get to the selling point here? Helpful support. They have the right people standing by, ready for your questions, all based in the United States. You know, that's filler right there. As opposed to what, non-helpful people in other countries? Well, yeah, that's kind of most companies now, aren't they? Yeah. Hello, my name is Steve. Number 4, legal advice. LegalZoom isn't a law firm, but they have a network of independent attorneys. They can review supplier contracts, help with your employment laws, and advise you on many of the hurdles that pop up when you're running a business. And finally, number 5, no surprises. LegalZoom, that's kind of sad. LegalZoom provides complete transparency with upfront pricing, customer reviews, and a satisfaction guarantee, and they will never celebrate your birthday without letting you know first. Check out LegalZoom today. See, no surprises, nothing here. Check out LegalZoom today to see how they can make your life better for you and your business. And don't forget to enter Burr, B-U-R-R, at checkout to save even more. LegalZoom.com. All right. Well, that's it. Nia, what did you think about Sidney Crosby getting another concussion? You know, and then the Penguins still.
I hope he's okay.
Yeah, still somehow still being up 3 games. Is it 3 games to 1? Yeah, 3 games to 1. Unbelievable. I feel bad for Josh Adam Myers. He's really going through it right now. His Wizards are down 0-2 to the Bruins, and his Capitals are down 3 games to 1.
Oh, he'll be all right.
Yeah, I know. He'll pull through. All right, that's the podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and
happy anniversary, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Why are we doing that?
Because it's your podcast anniversary.
I thought you were mocking the end of our TV relationship.
Podcast anniversary.
What? You just go podcast anniversary.
I know. I don't know why I still can't hold the microphone in my hand.
Well, you know what, Nia? Here's to another 10 years of you not speaking into the mic.
Do you think you're going to be doing the podcast 10 years from now?
Absolutely. I will only be doing the podcast. I won't be acting anymore. I won't be touring. I won't be watching TV.
Not with me, you won't.
I will just be sitting in the room doing that stuff, you know? No, I'll be hanging out with this little
dumpling.
Cutie pie. Huh?
Yeah.
What's up, buddy? Mm. Huh? I get a smile? Are you in a contemplative moment? All right, that's it. Hey, I have to do my official sign-off here, and I can't do it in front of the kid, even though I dropped the F-bomb a couple of times. All right, Nia, give me your microphone that you don't talk into. And, I don't know, why don't you go watch something and erase it?
You know what? I think I will.
You know, I think the great Michael Jackson put it best when he said, "Beat it! Beat it! Open up your mouth and feed it." Bye, ladies. Close the door. Bye. All right, that's the podcast, everybody. Have a great weekend, you cunts. And I don't know. I won't check in on you. I'll talk to you on Monday. All right, that's it. Well, wait. You know what? We're actually going to have a little bit of music and then some of the greatest hits of a podcast gone by in the last 10 years. Oh, by the way, remember when I told you to check out that band, The Night Game? Remember that? Well, rumor has it that they're going to be opening for John Mayer. John Mayer's got a big tour going through the United States of America's. One stop in Toronto. The rest of them all, I imagine he'll go around the globe with it because it does say World Tour. So this is probably the first leg of it. And he's got 2 bands opening up. I forget the name of the other band, but I believe The Night Game. I don't know if that's official. I hope it's official. I hope I'm not fucking anything up for anybody. But that was a band I told you guys to check out. Dave Elich, the guy I take drum lessons from, is in that band with a bunch of other amazing studio musicians, songwriters. They sound amazing. So if you do catch John Mayer this summer, don't show up late. Don't hang in the parking lot, shotgunning beers or whatever the hell you kids do nowadays, taking your Molly, smoking your meth, right? Whatever the hell it is you kids do nowadays. Make sure you get in time to check out The Night Game. And I'm sure the other band is just as good because it doesn't seem like Mayer brings any cupcakes out on the road. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes comedians will do that. They'll take somebody on the road that isn't as funny, you know what I mean? So they don't bring too much heat, But the really funny guys, they don't do that shit. All right? But not me. I bring cupcakes out on the road, like Joe DeRosa, the original cupcake. Joe DeRosa is the cupcake of stand-up comedy. I miss that guy, man. I got to have him back on the podcast at some point. All right, enjoy the music and the greatest hits. I'll talk to you on Monday.
Hey, what's going on? It's Bill Burr, and this is the Monday Morning Podcast for Monday, May 4th, 2009, and I think this is the 15th time I've tried to do this podcast. As you can tell, my voice is a little bit tired. I was just working Carolines in New York City, and I did 6 shows, and I think I overdid it a little bit, even though I was drinking tea, Started doing that, drinking tea with a little bit of honey in it before my shows, doing a little fucking vocal warm-up. So I can save my instrument. I know, that's the gayest fucking thing ever, isn't it? I don't give a fuck. I have to do it. Or else I end up sounding like this when I don't do it. I don't know. It was a weird week in New York. I didn't do anything. I was holed up in my hotel like fucking Howard Hughes. That's what I do. Like, the further east I go, the more fucked up it is for me to get up in the morning to do radio, obviously, because if I have to get into the radio station at 7 a.m. East Coast time, that's 4 a.m. my time. And that's how I end up getting sick, burning it at both ends. So I started taking these vitamin C pills because they were freaking everybody out about the fucking swine flu, which once again turned out to be nothing. How many flus in a row are they going to scare the shit out of us about, And you'll notice every flu, it's like how did it come about? It's always somebody had sex with an animal. Somebody in another country had sex with an animal, which is so, like nobody is fucking animals in this country. I think the CIA puts the shit out. They're just doing some experiments. They need to thin the fucking herd. So what they do is they just put the shit out, and then they just blame foreigners, and then they add bestiality into it. So then it just makes sense to Joe Lunchbox, You can just see him sitting around the fucking canteen truck, the roach coach, whatever you call it in your neck of the woods. Dude, the fucking swine flu, What are we talking about? What's the swine flu? Dude, some guy down in Mexico, dude, he fucked a pig. He fucked a fucking pig. We got plenty of pigs in this country. You don't see anybody fucking them. Those fucking people in Mexico, fucking pigs, dude. It's just like AIDS. Some guy in Africa, he fucks a monkey and then he jerks off the stewardess. And next thing you know, I got to wear a condom. It's fucking bullshit, dude. We should close the fucking borders. Notice that was all done in a pseudo-Boston accent because that's where I heard most of those conversations as I was growing up. When I worked in a warehouse, and I got to admit, some of the times I was the guy saying them. As I went out and I got a Sausage King for breakfast for my 10:30 a.m. break. Remember that shit? You worked in the warehouse and you're just sitting there and it's a Monday and the day's just... Mondays didn't crawl. Tuesdays crawled. Monday, you was so fucking bleary-eyed from your weekend that the day in some weird way kind of went by quickly. Plus, you're kind of excited to get back to work, whatever girl there you kind of got a crush on, you're trying to figure out how to fuck her. You haven't seen her in a couple days, so you got that level of excitement. You got all that going on. Maybe your team won the big game the day before. Even if they didn't, you got something to talk about. So Monday goes by quick. But then Tuesday Tuesday is when it hits you. Fuck. I work here. I hate this. This is going to be the same shit all over again. What the fuck am I doing with my life? And then it just drags ass. I don't know about you guys, but back when I had a real job, before I just did this bullshit, I can't even begin to tell you how fucking long Tuesdays seemed. It was almost like the clock. It was like they had like a phony clock on the wall, and every minute was actually 2 minutes. You know? I'm telling you, it went by slow, people. Why did I need to give that last example? I don't know what. But all I know is I must have looked at the clock like 85 times before 10:15 when the roach coach would come in and it would blow its horn that, you know, it didn't do that. It was something else. I can't remember, but it was one of those fucking fancy horns. And everybody would just, everybody would lose their shit. It was like the adult version of when the ice cream truck came down the street. Remember that old Eddie Murphy bit? The ice cream man is coming. Same shit, but for adults. And then I would literally go out there, and I would either get a slice of pizza off of this truck. For those of you who always just had a white-collar job, you know those canteen trucks, right? The silver. It looks like a pickup truck in the front and the back. It's all silver. Then they lift up the side, and there's all kinds of fucking... that's where the fucking swine flu comes from, goddammit. Probably those fucking trucks. But anyways, then I would go out there, and I would literally get like a slice of pizza, like this... I don't know who made it. You know what I mean? Where was it made? And I either get that or I get like a Sausage King at 10:30 in the morning, 10:15 in the morning, and I would just eat that thing after boozing all weekend, probably downing every bit of 30 fucking beers. All right? Probably getting 6 hours sleep if I was lucky. I had season tickets to the Patriots. I abused my body on that day. And then I would finish it off every day, just eating a fucking Sausage King or a slice of pizza, just something horrific. And because I was young, I had a washboard middle. I mean, granted, I was working out, but I'm at the age now, I'd have to be on a treadmill the entire fucking day. It's just cruel. So if you're in your 20s, enjoy it. Enjoy it and develop some good fucking eating habits. Because those days don't last, right? Admit it, old people. Don't you walk into McDonald's sometimes and you're feeling all fucking guilty and you just see some douchebags? They're not even douchebags, you're just mad because they're young and they're over there laughing, having a great time. Everybody's fucking in shape, chowing down. You know, to make yourself feel better, you're looking over there going, there's 4 people over there. You know what? Statistically speaking, one of them's going to drop of a heart attack. And I'm still living, so fuck it. It's not like I started my life at this age. I'm doing all right, right? Yeah, let me get the number 3 with a root beer. I'm sorry, sir, we don't have root beer. Is Sprite okay? Is Sprite even remotely like a root beer? Huh? You ditzy cunt? Why wouldn't you say Coke? At least they're both brown. All right, sorry. Anyways, this is the Monday Morning Podcast. I do one of these every single week out of the goodness of my heart. All the horrific things I do all week long, I wash away all of them every Monday by doing this podcast for my listeners. That's what I do. That's why I do it. This is how I repent, considering I don't go to church anymore. You know? I haven't been to confession. Confession. How fucked up was that? You go in there and you rat yourself out to some other fucking douchebag, and he's acting like, oh, you got to come to me, and then I'm going to tell God. Like God didn't watch everything that I just did. You know, I could do that shit in my bedroom. You know what I mean? That's like when you got old technology. You know what I mean? Like me, I just bought an iPod, not knowing that phones are basically iPods now. Yeah, it's just stupid. It's an extra fucking... that's a terrible example. What am I trying to think of? What am I... It's like they got wireless mics now. For some reason, I got a cord on this one. I could be walking all around my apartment making myself a sandwich, and I'm not. That's another bad example. Jesus, I'm in a fucking hole here. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been to confession in a long time. And I don't know. I would actually like to start going to church again. What do you think about that? Has anybody got any good suggestions out there where you got a church where it's not the Catholic Church It's not a church where the person you're in church with started the religion and has somehow become a Christ-like figure and is trying to brainwash you that it's okay for him to start having sex with your children. I don't want to join a cult, okay? Somewhere between a cult and an organized religion. And I don't want any fucking Mr. Good Vibes shit either. God, why don't I start a church? There we go. I know, that's right, because I'm not qualified. I don't know what. You know what it is? I like the discipline at church. Oh, speaking of that, you know what, dudes? Did I say dudes? What kind of asshole still says that? You know what, dudes? Let me lay this one on you. I did the Bob and Tom show. I've been on the road for 2 weeks, by the way. This is basically what happened. I was working Columbus, Ohio, and then I was going on to work Caroline's in New York City. So I had back-to-back weeks on the road. And after that, I can tell you what's underrated. You know what's underrated? Sleeping in your own fucking bed is underrated. Having access to your entire wardrobe is underrated. Being able to rub one out and not have to put a "please don't clean the room now" sign on your door, that's also overrated. Remembering what the fuck you were talking about, that's overrated. Hey, does anybody have like a help your memory like brain game that I can start playing? Because I'm starting to really believe that your brain is a muscle, because I am really losing my train of thought at a disturbing amount every single day now. And I was just reading this story about, that Astor lady who passed away in New York, the Astor family, Astor Place and all that type of shit. I guess she got Alzheimer's, and it sounded like a fucking horrific way to go. So I started thinking, like, well, what if I start playing Pictionary? What if I go to Toys R Us and I buy that game that's supposed to help kids' memories? You know, where you got the cards, and you turn one over and it's an owl, and you try to find the other owl, and then you try it and it's an owl, and then it's a basset hound, and you're like, fuck, and then your parents go, I knew you weren't going to amount to shit, right? Remember that game? Is there an adult version of that anybody can recommend? Because seriously, I really don't want to go out like that. Is anybody staying up on that whole Astor family fucking thing, where the guy evidently was the son, as the older Astor lady went into her senile years? He just started, rewriting her will so he'd get all the cash. That's a weird fucking family, the Astors. It's like the whole, that lady, the lady who just died a couple of years ago, she gave away like $200 million to charity. But if you look at how they got their shit, they were slumlords. Like a century worth of people died of tuberculosis in their fucking damp, dark, fucking walk-in closet apartments that they had. And then after a while, they felt guilty, so they started giving it away. But you know what? I'm onto your game. Did I ever tell you my theory about statues? Unless you're like an artist, an entertainer, a sports person, or whatever, if there's a statue of you, unless you're one of those kinds of people, you did something fucked up. Does that make any sense to you? Like Stevie Ray Vaughan got a statue, right? What did he do? He made albums, he played guitar. I'm sure he hurt some people around him at some point. Swung his guitar around, the strap broke, and he fucking smashed some chick in the teeth. Maybe that happened. Well, I'm just saying, generally speaking, he didn't hurt anybody. But then you look at these other guys, you're like, who the fuck is that guy? Anytime, here's a fun exercise. Next time you walk by a statue and you're looking at it, like, who the fuck is that guy? Go on the internet and just Google whatever his name is, and then write robber baron after it, or some sort of, just write corrupt, and Google it and watch all the fucking articles you find. Granted, you're not really, I never really Google that, the same name and great guy. I never do that either, because I just get a thought in my head. That's what a lot of people do when they go on the internet. You have a thought in your head, what you fucking think somebody is, or what the fuck's going on, and then you just Google shit. And the way you Google it, it's so everyone will support you. Like if you think someone's an asshole, you're like, Brian Jones, douche. And then you Google, and then all these articles come up, and then you go, there you go, look at all the articles, right? See? He is a douche. You're supposed to just Google the guy's name and then piece through him. I never do that. I'm actually yelling at myself right now. You guys want to hear a story Oh, before I get into that, I gotta rectify something I said last week. I was talking about how Pontiac went out of business, and I was saying the Trans Am was like their best car, and I was like, what else did they have? After that, it goes to the Sunbird, then the Pontiac T1000. There's a major drop off. I stand corrected. Later on that day, I was laying in bed and I actually sat upright and I was like, how the fuck did I forget the Pontiac GTO? The Bonneville. They had a lot of good cars. It's not the Aztec. I'm looking right now, the top 10 Pontiacs of all time, and they actually put the Pontiac Aztec. If that wasn't the ugliest fucking vehicle, other than the Chevy Lumina, remember that thing? The Chevy fucking Lumina. All right, so here's something for you guys. You want to look? I'm really into cars and that type of shit. If you want to see one of the most fucked up looking vehicles of all time, Google this. I'm not even asking you. I'm telling you. Google this. The GMC Futureliner. All right, and however you spell it, you're going to be able to find it. This was something that they made in like the 1940s. They had this thing called the Parade of Progress. It's a great YouTube video. That's something else you can Google. The Parade of Progress. And they had these, I can't even explain what they are. It'd be like, picture if a toaster ate a Winnebago. That's what this fucking thing looks like. Are you looking it up right now? You at your desk? You sitting there at your cubicle pretending like you're doing your real work? You got to look this thing up. I apologize to people on planes right now, or if you're on a treadmill. But you got to look this fucking thing up. I never even heard of these things, and I was watching one of those auto shows. All those rich cunts go out and they spend $2 million on a Mustang, so now I can't buy one. Well, this they actually more like a couple $100,000, but this thing actually went for like $1 million, maybe even more. It actually, to look at it from the side, it looks like it has 4 wheels, but each wheel is doubled. Like those dually pickups. So it actually has 8 wheels. And like I said, it literally looks like the Jolly Green Giant had a toaster with wheels on it. This is what the fuck the thing would look like. But I think 99% of Americans have never seen this thing. And if you ever had one of those and just drove it down the fucking street, a bunch of people would look at you. And isn't that what we're all asking for? Everyone's going to look in your direction and be like, wow, who's that guy? Is he a rebel? All right, I got to read this fucked up email before. This isn't even the podcast. This is just me bullshitting around here. Let me get into, here's a story somebody sent to me, which brings up an interesting debate here. She says, hey, Bill, my name is so-and-so. I'm just writing to let you know you're my favorite comedian. I really can relate to everything you say. Not sure if that's good or bad. L-O-fucking-L. I bought tickets to see you on Friday at Caroline's in New York. I spent over $200 on tickets about a month before so that me and my friends could go and have a grand old time. Well, lo and behold, of course, this shit only happens to me. We get on the train 2 hours before you go on so we can get there, plenty of time, and watch the show. But lo and behold, what happens? Some fucking lady decided that she was going to end her life and get hit by the train in front of mine. Now, I know it's a sad thing, and I should feel bad, but fuck that. I was like, really, lady? Are you serious? Of all the fucking trains, it had to be the one that I was on that got delayed 2 hours? I'm like, fuck, if you want to kill yourself because you're miserable with your life, go shoot yourself or jump off a bridge, but don't make us all suffer. So anyways, long story short, I only got to see the last 30 minutes of your show, which was great, but I was disappointed that we couldn't see the whole thing. I'm not sure when you'll be in New York. Again, I'm sure your website will post a date whenever it will be. Well, you're probably wondering why the fuck I'm writing you. Well, I have to vent to someone that's on my level of understanding. People suck. Jesus Christ. Well, I'm sorry. Sorry to hear that. You should have told me that story. I would have tossed you a DVD at the end. Would have given you something for your troubles. You actually bring up a good point. If you're going to kill yourself, it's bad enough you're going to make everyone around you suffer, but you got to make complete strangers suffer? Delay their night of fun? What a fucking way to go. Jesus Christ. I can tell you right now, there is no way to do a thorough cleanup after somebody jumps in front of a fucking train. There's no fucking way you're getting every piece. You know what I mean? There's no way. If you don't believe me, why don't you go get a flank steak and stick an M80 in it and light it off in your kitchen? clean it up to the best of your ability, and I guarantee you 6 months from now, you're going to be finding shit in the curtains. There's just... And yeah, for those of you who didn't wonder, this is a very educational podcast. That's what like jumping in front of a train is. That's exactly what it's like, lighting off an M80 in a flank steak in a kitchen. All right? So right now, even if you press stop and you never listen to the rest of this, you actually fucking learned something. All right? So here we go. This is the podcast. This is what the fuck I do. I do it every single Monday. People send me questions and information. We have a list of stuff that's overrated and underrated. People send me stories about revenge and all that type of shit. Have I really been talking for fucking 20 minutes? Is that true? Did I fuck up again? You know what? There's no way for me to know. Shit, I have to hit stop. Fuck. All right, so I fucked up. I thought I can't even tell you what the fuck I thought. I can't even explain it. I thought I was only 3 minutes into the podcast. I looked down and said 19 minutes, and I thought I fucked up. I thought I started the podcast at the end of another fucked up podcast, and it turned out I didn't. So there's just going to be 2 tracks this week, which a lot of you actually should probably enjoy on some level, because a number of you give me shit about how big my files are. Oh, they take too long to download, man. Well, why don't you upgrade your fucking technology? What do you want from me? I don't know how to do this shit. Stop giving me shit, all right? Fucking people every week. People seem to like last week when I was all hungover. So a lot of people said it was one of my best podcasts of all time. But there was a couple people who actually went out of their way to tell me that they thought that it sucked. Don't do any more hungover podcasts. Okay, I thought that one kind of sucked. Women really didn't like it. Did I say something really mean about women? Because the only ones who didn't like it were women. I don't know if you have drunk boyfriends, or spouses. He was such a swell guy, and then after we got married, everything was going great. And then one day at work, he hurt his back, and then he started taking pain pills, and then he had an episode of intervention. So is that what it reminded you of? I wasn't trying to piss anyone off. All right. So anyways, having survived the epidemic in New York City, the swine flu epidemic, I was so sick of them using the words epidemic and pandemic. I was like, what the fuck is the difference? So basically, an epidemic is when I guess it's some sort of whatever, it's some sort of disease or some shit, but it's confined to one country, I guess. And a pandemic is global, and if it's just in an area, in a country, that's a breakout. But the definition of an epidemic, evidently what makes something an epidemic, according to Wikipedia, I'm saving you guys time. You don't have to look it up and read it, because that's where I get it from. An epidemic is basically, it basically says defining an epidemic can be subjective, depending in part on what is expected. An epidemic may be restricted to one locale, an outbreak, like I just said. More general, an epidemic or even global pandemic, because it is based on what is expected or thought normal. A few cases of a very rare disease like rabies may be classified as an epidemic, while many cases of the common diseases like the common cold would not. You know what I mean? So basically, if, 5 people had rabies out here in LA, that would be considered an epidemic because that's 5 more than they expected. But if everybody had the fucking ass flu, they'd be like, well, we told them to wear condoms. All right. Let's get to the overrated, underrated here for this week. Overrated. This guy sends in, he said, Red Sox sweeping the Yankees in April. I thought that was hilarious, because not only is that true, it is just April, but what I really found funny is that if the Yankees swept the Red Sox, that dude would not think that it was overrated. He would be like, you see, we fucking own you guys, fucking Boston. You guys fucking suck. Everything closes by 1. This fucking city's so fucking lame. Can't even get a fucking slice. I don't think the Red Sox sweeping the Yankees in April is overrated. I think it's overrated spending $420 million on 3 fucking guys. What do you think about that? That's fucking overrated. Spending $200 million a year to not win the World Series is overrated. I don't understand. Why don't the Yankees trust their farm system? Oh, I know why they don't trust them. Because all their farm system has ever given them is Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, Mickey Mantle, Derek Jeter, Andy Pettitte, Bernie Williams, Jorge Posada. Why would you wait around to build a team when you can go out and spend hundreds of millions of dollars on shitheads? Can you fucking? They're not going to win it again this year. Fucking unbelievable. I was sitting there going, $420 million on three guys. There's no fucking way. You know? And Teixeira was on the Angels last year. I mean, that guy, he looked like a beast. I don't know. I actually went to Yankee Stadium on Sunday, new Yankee Stadium. I got to admit, I really had a lot of mixed emotions as I got out there. I got off and I looked at old Yankee Stadium. I'm like, that's Yankee Stadium. You know? I don't know. I'm a sentimental jackass. I'm into the history. You know, I loved going into that place. That fucking place was awesome. You know, even though so many horrific things happened to the Red Sox there, I mean, Jesus, if you're any sort of a sports fan, you gotta respect that. That's the number one stadium in all four sports, without a doubt. 26 fucking championships. Not even those fucking sissies up in Montreal can say that. You know? Hey, what do you think? Did I ask you guys this question? What do you think's the most overrated team with like as far as has like the most amount of championships? I was talking to this with a guy the other day. Like, you ever notice like in any sort of league, there's always like there's always one team in the inception of a league that always goes on a run in the beginning, and they go on such a run that, you know, basically for the most part, it's going to take another century to catch up with them if you even can. You know? You know what I'm saying? Like, look at the Celtics. The Celtics went on that run in the 60s. It's like, come on, man. You see what people look like? They barely were like, the league just started. You know what I mean? I mean, you look at that shit, the way they play. Like, I think I could have fucking made the final cut, you know? And then you got the Yankees. They won way back, a whole bunch back in the Three Stooges era. But I really don't disrespect the baseball one. Once they let black people and Latinos in and that type of shit, the Yankees still fucking dominated. But I think I might have to go with the Canadians. Just for the simple fact that there were only 6 teams. You know what I mean? So I think it's kind of easy, much easier to go on a run in hockey than it was in basketball or even baseball. Because I think baseball had like... how many teams did they have? Like, Jesus, I probably should have looked this up. I used to know this shit. I think they had about 14, 16. I was like, maybe 12 teams. But here's another thing, too. Back in the day when you went to the World... if you won the division, that was winning the pennant. You know? And then you just immediately went to the World Series. There wasn't fucking a round of playoffs before the World Series for a while until they got past a certain amount of teams. And... you know, win a Stanley Cup, you had to win 8 games. That's a whole nother fucking deal. You know what I mean? Like nowadays, like all these teams, there's like 30 teams in every single fucking league now. So now you got a 1 in 30 chance as opposed to back in the day. Look at hockey, you had a 1 in 6 chance of winning the cup. And this is something else I didn't notice either. The Toronto Maple Leafs hung with the Canadians right up till 1967. They were like neck and neck. They were like 15 Stanley Cups versus 13. Fucking Toronto was right there, man, and then they just shit the bed my whole life. Then I was born. I think I'm cursing the Toronto Maple Leafs. Whatever. You know what? Before the Canadian fans get pissed, I'm just breaking your balls because I know you guys. You won what'd you win? 7 cups in the 70s? Is that what you did? I think you did, and that was with the expansion 12. But even that was bullshit because then they took the expansion 6 and they just put them in their own fucking division. So then all you had to do was just win the other division, and then you went up against like the fucking St. Louis Blues, like we did, or like the North Stars or some shit. All right, that last 3 minutes was for the fucking sports nerds. All right, let me move on here. Oh, I didn't say. So I went into New Yankee Stadium, and I gotta admit, like, I don't know, man. It was weird because you were looking at the Yankees. I felt like I was at Legends Field, you know. I was like, those are the New York Yankees, but this is not their house. I don't feel the history, you know? And I also got to admit, it kind of looked like every other fucking stadium except it had that cool facade. The facade is the shit. Outside of the stadium is the shit. But inside, it just kind of, it's like fucking voice cracks. Inside the stadium, it just kind of looked like, I don't know. I think I might like Pac Bell a little better. I'll have to go again. You know what? Some amazing shit has to happen there, Fred. That's the same all of those fucking things. Like I used to go to Shea Stadium, and even after the Red Sox won it, I would still look at that spot where the ball went through Buckner's legs. Except after we won it, then I also saw the humor in it. But until that point, I didn't. All right, moving on here. All right, the other thing that people say is overrated. The People's Kentucky Derby picks. I hate how all these people who basically only watch 3 horse races a year. They only watch 3 horse races a year, yet they come up to me and they give you, you know something? Half this isn't fucking me. You know what? I was actually going to blame the guy who fucking wrote that, but I can't. You know, that's actually how I've read it. All right, let me start over again. People's Kentucky Derby picks. I hated how all these people who basically only watch 3 races a year, yet no, you did fuck up. Yet they give you their Derby picks. And they say shit like, it's going to be a sloppy track today. This horse thrives on a sloppy track. Does he? You know what? That was such a great fucking point, and I really butchered that. Yeah, I know. Everybody starts acting like they're fucking Jack Klugman, you know, with a rolled-up program. Nobody gives a fuck about horse racing. You know, back in the day, horse racing and boxing used to be the number 1 sports. Granted, there was no football, baseball, and hockey. Basketball, none of that shit was around. And then when it was around, it took a while for it to take over. This is just all going to be sports this week. Pay-per-view boxing matches are overrated. They're never worth the money. It's just all about the marking. I'm glad I didn't spend $50 on the Hatton Pacquiao fight because it was on YouTube for free about 2 hours later. Although I will buy Pacquiao, however you say his name, Mayweather, if that happens. Well, that's good to know, sir. Underrated. How gay those frilly boxing trunks some fighters wear. I think it's. See, this is the shit. I can't read it because it's too fucking small. I'm getting old here. I think it's hysterical when some fighters come out wearing something Liberace would wear, and then they just get the shit beat out of them. This guy really wrote some funny shit. I'm just butchering it. I guess I could never be a fucking newscaster. Let me try that again. Okay, underrated. How gay those frilly boxing trunks some fighters wear. See, that's a fragment. That's what trips me up. Should say how gay some of those frilly boxing trunks are that some of the fighters wear. I think it's hysterical when a fighter comes out wearing something that only Liberace would wear, and then he goes on to get the shit kicked out of him. See, that's what I'll do. I'll get the gist of it. I'll just paraphrase. Underrated. Massages with happy endings. For $100, you get a 60-minute massage that ends with an Asian chick beating you off. And to top it off, at the end, for no extra charge, she'll give you a table shower, which is basically a bath. It's how God must get a hand job. Dude, you write really funny shit. I mean, I'm not telling you to go out there, and you might get a future there, son. There's Sonny Boy. Hey, getting back to the swine flu shit. There was a bunch of people walking around New York with those masks on, those little surgical masks. How fucking hilarious is that? It's an airborne virus. I don't understand the thought process. You're breathing through the mask. What is it? Well, oxygen gets through, but not the pig virus. See, oxygen is just a wee bit smaller than the pig virus. Pig virus just hits the front of the mask, and then that's it. I was on my flight today, flying out here from New York City, and this is sort of weird. And I want to know from my my Asian constituents, whatever the fucking word is. There was about 6 people on the plane who were all wearing those surgical masks, like they were going to amputate somebody's leg during the Civil War, or doing a fucking guest star on MASH. They were all Asian. Only the Asians were wearing those. And what is that from? Was that because they had to live through SARS, and they made it? by the grace of God, but they're for some reason like attributing the mass to it. Does anybody know? Does anybody know out there? Anybody out there in podcast land? All right, I have to do the fucking math here. I'm up to 29 minutes, not to go too long. All right, by the way, Bill, congratulations on the Celtics beating the Bulls, but I want to know how you feel about Derrick Rose just basically bitch-slapping Brian Scalabrine in Game 7 with that nasty-ass block. Considering we won the series, I think I feel pretty fine about it. I actually did a show that night, and I missed Game 7, but you guys are going to be great, man. You guys have a great young team, and that guy, Brian Scalabrine, is that the fucking dude who looks like, Jesus Christ, I always forget his fucking name. What is that actor's fucking name? I always think Michael Madsen and then that screw, or Matthew Modine. I always think there's an M in it. You know the guy. He was in Copland. He played the cop that had to disappear. What is his fucking name? That's exactly what that fucking dude looks like. Shit. He starred in that short-lived sitcom, The War at Home. Actually, it lasted a season, so that's actually successful these days, the way they cancel him. The fuck is his name? I swear to God, man, I'm like literally, I'm losing my mind here. Now we have to Google it. I have to take time out of the fucking podcast. And I have type with one hand because I'm holding my Monday Night Football fucking microphone here. The War at Home. Doesn't sound like you're trying to... Michael Rappaport. There we go. That's how he looks like. He looks like Michael Rappaport. I went to that Celtics-Utah Jazz game out in Utah where Garnett got hurt, and that Michael Rappaport dude, I watched him have one foul in the first half, and then he fouled out in the third quarter in the span, I swear to God, of 4 minutes. I haven't seen any shit like that since Daryl Dawkins, and I swear to God, that's the end of the sports shit. All right, for the rest of you, here we go. We're going to move on here. Moving on to the next part of the podcast. Where the fuck am I? Okay, somebody wants my advice. Dear Bill, I guess this falls under the I need advice column of the podcast. My 30th birthday is 4 days before your 41st, according to Wikipedia. And I got to admit that I'm not looking forward to it. I just feel like I'm getting old and it sucks. I work with this kid who's 23, and one day a couple weeks ago I caught myself in the middle of a speech about how lucky he is to be 23 and how, as a dude, that's the perfect age, 23 years old. All I could remember was at that age, I had pussy falling out of my pockets. And let's just say things have dried up since then. I promptly shut the hell up when I realized I was starting to sound like my dad. But the kid was actually listening to me and asking questions about typical guy shit. So basically what I'm asking is, what advice would you please offer to me about relationships and life in general? You know, like if I knew what I knew, what I know now kind of shit. Thanks in advance. All right. So obviously, dude, your relationships aren't working out. So you've made the brilliant decision to ask someone who's never made a relationship work. Actually, my relationship now is working, right? What is the advice? Oh, Jesus Christ, where the fuck do I... Be selfish. There you go. That's a good one. I mean, in your dating. I'm literally tangled up in the fucking wires here. All right? That's what you got to do. You got to be selfish. And before you start dating, before you get back out, just make a list of shit that you want. You know, like practical shit. Don't be like big tits, fucking round ass. She's got to have nice toes. You know, what else? What the fuck else is there? Nice face, you know. Dresses nice, but not a fucking whore. You know what I'm saying? You got to have some other shit, too. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been able to get married yet, so that seems to be the pinnacle of what makes a healthy relationship for some fucking reason. But I did have a buddy of mine and who was a complete fucking maniac, and he got married. And I asked him how he went about doing it, and he just said he dumped all the fucking, you know all those girls you got in your cell phone, as much as you're saying that dried up, you got all those numbers in your cell phone. You know those numbers. Those numbers you only call at 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. Those girls. you gotta sever ties with those girls because it's too fucking easy. It's like junk food. If you got it laying around in your house, you're just gonna eat it. You open the bag, you eat the whole fucking thing, and then you're sitting there going, "Why the fuck did I do that?" You know? Didn't I write a blog? I wrote a blog about that. How whores are like the human equivalent to a fucking bag of Doritos. How the fuck is it 19 minutes again? What's 19 and 19? Huh? 38. There we go. Okay, I got another 12 minutes here. Yeah, so just really figure out what the fuck you want. And this guy, one of the great things he did was if he found out a girl he was dating, one of the first questions he'd ask is if her parents were still together. And if they were still together, there would be a second date. And if they weren't still together, there wasn't a second date. And I know a lot of people get offended about that shit, but that's a great way to get a purebred, you know? Other shit, you know? I don't know. You just got to make a list of what the fuck you want, but you really got to stop. You got to stop fucking with the whores, and it's a hard thing. It's definitely a hard thing. And geez, I'm a little jet lagged here, dude. If you ask me something a little more specific, I'm better when you ask me specific things. Because if you ask me an overall question like that, all right, what else can I? Come on, Bill, think. All right, everybody's nuts, including you, and so you got to pick someone that complements your crazy. You know what I mean? You can't, and you think you want to get somebody who's the same kind of crazy, so then you guys relate to each other, but that's not good because then you're both going batshit at the same time, and when that happens, neither one of you have anybody to call to bail you out of the holding cell. You know what I mean? What else? Jesus fucking Christ. Don't date those girls who say they used to be a whore, but now they're not. Don't date those girls. What else? I don't fucking know, dude. I'm really trying here. You know what, dude? Write me back next week. Ask me something more specific. I'm just really I'm going blank here. I'm really choking on this one. I usually have a ton of shit to say. Why is my fucking software updates are available for your computer? Do you want to install them? No, I'm doing a fucking podcast. Not now. Shit. Well, you know what? If anybody else out there has some fucking advice to give them, obviously I got nothing. I only have advice about how to get out of relationships, like that dude that one time who was asking me. And you know what? The biggest thing, I actually had to email him back. I forgot to tell him. Was when he was getting away from that. Just to do a recap, he was with this girl. She had a couple kids with another guy, and he was kind of in the relationship with her. And he was semi-passed out when he was drunk, and when he woke up, she was fucking flirting with his best friend. So he's trying to get out of the relationship, and I told him basically he knew what he needed to do, but I forgot the number one thing that I forgot to tell him was under no circumstances should he ever fuck that girl again. You got to watch out for those girls that already have kids by somebody else. You really got to watch out. In general, you got to watch out. During that breakup time, you really got to watch out because there's a lot of crazy people go nuts. Guys and women go nuts. Guys could get physical. They could start stalking you. They go that route. Women can get crazy and accidentally take themselves off the fucking pill in some sort of fucked up desperation, either to keep it going or even worse, some sort of vengeance thing. They're just not thinking clearly, and then they get knocked up, and next thing you know, they're thinking clearly, and they don't want the fucking kid either, and you're joined to the hip. So wear a fucking condom. That's another thing, too. Wear a fucking condom. And, yeah, do that shit. Wear a condom. You know, that's another good thing, too. If you get with a girl and she, starts asking you if you've been tested and that type of shit, that's a good thing. You want a Bronx Tale, like lock the door test? Hook up with a girl, all right? And when you're getting ready to do the deed, don't bring up a condom. And if she doesn't flinch, stand up and just walk out with your heart on. No one has the fucking strength to do that, but at least for the love of God, fucking put one on. All right, that's it. Dude, that advice really sucked. I'm telling you, just ask me something more specific. I'll try to help you out. All right, let's get to the final thing that I'm going to do this week. A little jet lag this week. and it's hot as fuck in this room for some reason. I can't open the goddamn windows because it picks up every sound from the street. Last week, I actually asked a question about how to change the default on my computer for the size of the font when I type out my files, because I'm really bad at computers, and somebody actually helped me out with it like that day. It's really simple. If you're in AppleWorks, you go to Edit. Up on the toolbar there, you click on Edit. If I can do it right now. Click on Edit, and what the fuck? This doesn't make sense. Go to Edit. No, you don't. Click on AppleWorks. That's what you want to do. Go on AppleWorks, and you click on Preferences. All right, let me start over again. You go to AppleWorks, click on that. You go into Preferences, and then you click on General. And let's see if I can do this here. Oh, yeah. Then you'll see your default size is right there. And then you just click on the fucking arrow, and you can pick whatever size, and then you hit OK. That's how you do it. I know that's very basic. If you guys have some more difficult fucking questions and you want to ask them on this podcast, I will read them. And there's computer nerds out there that cannot wait to fucking help you. What else do we got here? I think I just have a fucking hangover story and then a vengeance thing. Wow, I'm really losing momentum here. I don't know what to do. It's like the beginning of fucking $6 Million Man, you know? When that little fucking kite that he's flying. Why don't they ever show that fucking show in reruns? That's one of the greatest goddamn shows ever. Did you guys ever see that? Do you have any idea how fucking huge it was when the $6 Million Man fought the $7 Million Man? And he punched his fucking face off? His face came off on television in like 1974. Do you have any fucking idea? Think about that. Pre-internet, pre-cable, pre any sort of special effect. Look how bad the graphics were in Star Wars. This is like 3-4 years before that. Lee Majors punched this dude who was the fucking bad guy in everything. Oh, man. Do you remember the one where the $6 Million Man fought in the snow outside that mansion, and they had everybody in slow motion, and that black dude jumped to like 10 feet in the air and was going to kick him? He's going, whoa, flying through the fucking air. Now, you got to understand how sheltered I was as a kid. I didn't even know who Bruce Lee was. I didn't even know what Kung Fu fighting was, and I didn't realize that TV shows were ripping off, Enter the Dragon and all that shit that people were flipping out about because I was just a little kid. So I saw that shit. It was the most unbelievable thing ever. He fought Bigfoot, he fought a black Bruce Lee, and he fought the $7 Million Man, and he punched his fucking face off. And I'm telling you, they don't make. It's impossible to compete now. They've just done too many things. You know? It's kind of like when you go to write a movie script, and they're like, everything's been done. And they act like all these guys back in the 40s and 50s were brilliant. It's like, fuck you. There was only like 5 movies were ever made. How hard was it to be brilliant back then? It's like inventing shit in the 1800s. Oh, look, it's a coat hanger. You can hang your coat on it. Holy shit. Let's put his name in the history book so everyone can fucking remember this for the rest of the time. I don't even know what you could invent. You know who's great at still inventing simple shit? Is that Billy Mays guy. You know that bearded fuck every night he just starts, Billy Mays. That dude. He doesn't even invent the shit. I think he invented like 3 things, and then he's just got a sweatshop of like smart fucking kids from Thailand. And he just comes walking in. I keep burning myself on the iron. Come up with some shit. And then like 3 weeks later, he's on TV. I'm Billy Mays. Are you tired of burning the hair off your forearm when you're ironing your button down because your 3rd marriage didn't work out and you still have to date in your 50s? Introducing the fucking thing you stick in front of the iron that doesn't burn your forearm but still irons the fucking shirt. Anyways. Oh, let me get back to this thing. Sorry. See, like that? There you go. I went into stand-up mode. Gave you some fucking laughs, okay? All right, hangover here. Let me get back. Here's a hangover. Last week I did a podcast where I had a hangover, and somebody gave me some sort of Jesus. Can you tell I'm stalling for time because I went to the wrong fucking place? Advice. I gave that guy horrible advice. All right. Yeah, I was kind of fucking hungover last week, so I had somebody give me advice on how to cure a hangover. And this is what I got. Here's a great hangover tip. Works for me most of the time. Eat a greasy breakfast with all the coffee you can fucking stomach the morning after drinking. I recommend Waffle House or some other piece of shit diner. You know what? Some people, I've always heard the greasy breakfast thing. People actually had some other ones I had never heard of, and evidently I didn't save those. Oh, well, we're going to end the podcast right here. We're going to end with a revenge story. All right. Bill, sometimes revenge comes when you least expect it. I like that this person started their revenge story with this. That sounds like a great trailer for a summer blockbuster. Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, and some other douchebag that you don't give a fuck star in The Revenge. Sometimes revenge comes when you least expect it. All right. My older brother, Jamie, had always teased me about something since it had happened when I was about 15. But I can't tell you what it was because it will ruin the rest of the story. But I had my day of revenge. All right. Fast forward 8 years. I was managing a rock band full-time, and my brother was about to move out to L.A. to take a shot at acting. So he had moved out of his apartment and was temporarily crashing up the street from my place at a mutual friend's apartment. We all lived in these apartments in a small town in South Jersey. Me and one of the guys from the band were living in an apartment that was connected to a house of a family we sort of grew up with. They had a son, Charlie, who was our age but had Down syndrome, so we still lived at home. Charlie would always seem to pop into our apartment at the worst times. In like the middle of parties when we were smoking pot, or maybe when I was on the couch with a girl trying to get laid. He just had this timing where he would show up at exactly the wrong time. On this particular Sunday afternoon, I called my brother to let him know we had ordered some pizzas and sandwiches and he could come over and have some if he wanted. We had all been drinking heavily the night before, as me and the band were out of town on tour. My brother got perfectly blunted, I think he was supposed to try to say, the previous night, and I knew he'd be... See, this is what sucks about this small fucking font. Please write in bigger type, guys. Or else I'm going to put my face right up to the goddamn screen. You guys are making me blind here. All right, my brother got fucked up the other night, and I knew he'd be on our buddy's couch just hating life. But when I called him up, he was being a bitch and asked if I could actually bring the fucking food over to him. You guys understand what's going on here? They're all hungover. His brother ordered some pizzas, and out of the goodness of his heart, he calls his brother up the street, and the fucking lazy cunt said, Can you bring it over? So this dude, like a normal person, says, fuck no. I bought the food. I'm offering you some. If you want it, just come over. But he couldn't get off the couch. Charlie, the Down syndrome kid, who must have seen the pizza delivery guy, knocked on our door minutes later. My roommate Tom and I then thought of something fun to do. Charlie actually really liked my brother. They were always messing around, but if you ever hung out with a kid with Down syndrome, that usually means he wants to fight you or wrestle. This is reminding me of something about Mary. Since my brother was being such a lazy turd and wouldn't come over, we thought it would be funny to have Charlie deliver the pizza to Jamie, since we knew Charlie, I guess Jamie's his brother. Excuse me. Have Charlie deliver it to Jamie, since we knew Charlie would immediately want to wrestle and fuck around with him, consequently would make his hangover much fucking worse. So anyways, our mutual friends was with us, and he had the key to the apartment where my brother was staying on the couch. We all walked over to the apartment and down the hall to the living room where my brother was on the couch. With the back of the couch towards the door and the TV facing us, we immediately realized that my brother was watching a nasty porno and was beating off. Jesus Christ. I started to say, hey, here's your pizza. And then I was like, oh no, but Charlie burst past me, and my brother stuck his head up over the back of the couch. Before he knew it, Charlie used all of his retard strength to give Jamie the haymaker of a lifetime to the back of his head. My brother was dazed and utterly confused. He stood up and had on only an old half shirt from high school football and white socks. And oh yeah, he had a raging hard-on. Now Charlie is coming at him full go, and my brother's looking at us to stop Charlie, but we're all laughing too hard, and none of us were going to go anywhere near that situation. Charlie, okay, I mean, would you break up a fight between a nearly naked guy with a boner and a kid with Down syndrome? Where would you start? Charlie was not quitting, blah, 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 blah. And he's put, and his best move was to punch your balls. Jesus Christ, dude, did this really happen? This sounds fucking crazy. He was coming at Jamie with everything he had. My brother was just trying to hold him off till his hard-on subsided and he could gather himself. Meanwhile, the TV is still on all loud and some nasty old fat chick was getting banged in the ass by some black dude. It was complete mayhem. It all happened so fast. Finally, my brother pushed Charlie away far enough to grab his shorts and put them on. Charlie was really tired, was really fired up because we had given him a big glass of Pepsi beforehand, and he was not supposed to have caffeine. Well, that's a great thing to do. Anyways, my brother would. Okay, so this is basically this is the thing he was talking about. What his brother used to tease him of. He said my brother would always used to tease me about the time he caught me beating off when I was 15. He was like a true older brother dick about it, and would bring it up in front of other girls, family, and whoever, and just kept doing it for years. After the time the retard beat him up while he was whacking off, he never mentioned it again. Cheers. Jesus Christ, dude. Did that all really happen? Sorry about saying retard, too. I never say that shit. He just had written that. I try to say fucking Down syndrome as much as I could. There you go. You found a line. I usually don't say that shit. Anyway, so that's the podcast for the week. I know it was pretty fucking, it's pretty fucked up, you know. You got a 19-minute one and you got a 35-minute one. So what does that make? That's like almost 55 fucking minutes. I'm going to be at the Improv here in Los Angeles in May. I don't know what weekend yet. I believe it's the weekend of May 20-something. And other than that, we're going to be filling in some stand-up dates. And that's it. Thank you guys for listening to the Monday Morning Podcast. Please keep the questions coming. And I apologize. I was a little bit jet lagged. That's 2 fucking weeks in a row. You know, hungover last week. Jet lag this week, but you know, what the fuck do you want from me? It's called the Monday Morning Podcast, and I have to do it on this day. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll talk to you next week. All right.